Have you ever wondered, where does true happiness lie? Is it in dazzling achievements, or the peace within your soul? In today's podcast, we will explore the Noble Eightfold Path, a guiding light left by the Buddha to help you overcome suffering and discover the profound meaning of life. This is not just a lesson in wisdom but a key to unlocking the door to true happiness. Hit the subscribe button on Living Peacefully to join us on this journey of uncovering life's true values. Don't forget to like and share this video to spread this positive energy to everyone around you. Life, like a flowing river, carries with it countless joys and sorrows. The river is never still, and its constant change defines the essence of life itself. Each twist, each ripple, holds its own meaning, yet many of us tie ourselves to the whirlpool of expectations for perfection. We attempt to control the flow, but the more we resist, the more exhausted and drained we become. Instead of embracing the natural flow of life, we often chase after unattainable dreams, desiring a life without flaws or imperfections. This yearning doesn't just wear us down, it clouds the true value of the present moment. When we endlessly pursue perfection, our minds lose clarity and fail to recognize the beauty in the simple things around us. A ray of morning sunlight, a pure laugh, or the peaceful moment of sitting with a cup of tea becomes meaningless as we are consumed by unrealistic expectations. However, the Buddha, with profound wisdom and boundless compassion, taught that the root of all suffering arises from three things: craving, desire, aversion, hatred, and ignorance, delusion. These are not only causes of pain but also invisible barriers preventing us from achieving inner peace. Craving, with its insatiable nature, leaves people perpetually dissatisfied when they cannot attain what they want. Aversion, with its hatred and resentment, burns away all happiness within the soul. And ignorance blinds us from seeing the true nature of life, that everything is impermanent and in constant flux. To live a truly happy life, the most important lesson is to learn how to let go. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning everything but rather lightening the mind, freeing it from attachment to things beyond our control. When we accept life as a series of imperfections, our hearts become more open. Acceptance of impermanence is not a form of resignation but a powerful mindset that allows us to face all changes with tranquility. It is in the imperfections that we find the hidden beauty of life, like witnessing radiant light reflected on the tears left behind after a rainstorm. Instead of striving to control everything, we can choose to step back, observe, and learn to harmonize with the flow of life. At that moment, imperfections cease to be a source of anxiety and become a natural part of the journey. And in that realization, we discover that happiness does not come from achieving everything but from the ability to accept everything just as it is. Desire, aversion, and ignorance, the roots of suffering. The Buddha taught that desire, craving, aversion, hatred, and ignorance, delusion, are the fundamental sources of all suffering humanity faces. Desire is not merely the longing for what we do not have, it is an insatiable craving for material possessions, relationships, status, and power. People often deceive themselves into believing that attaining what they want will bring happiness. However, this happiness is fleeting. When one desire is satisfied, another arises, stronger and more consuming. This creates an endless cycle of dissatisfaction, leaving people feeling unfulfilled no matter how much they possess. Desire is like drinking salt water: the more you drink, the thirstier you become. Aversion, on the other hand, manifests as rejection and resistance. When life does not go as planned, it is easy to fall into states of resentment and anger. These emotions, even if fleeting, can spread like wildfire, consuming all joy and peace within the soul. A person dominated by aversion loses their ability to think rationally, often acting impulsively and causing unintended consequences. Not only does aversion harm others, but it also inflicts deep inner torment, prolonging personal suffering. Ignorance, the deepest root of these three, is the blindness to the true nature of life. It is not merely a lack of knowledge but a fundamental misunderstanding of reality. People cling to transient things, believing they are permanent, failing to recognize the impermanence of all things. Joy, sorrow, success, and failure are all temporary states, much like a passing breeze. This lack of understanding traps people in desire and aversion, leaving them unable to let go and perpetuating the cycle of suffering. The interplay between desire, aversion, and ignorance creates a vicious cycle that is difficult to escape. When someone's greed is unfulfilled, aversion arises. This anger, if not acknowledged and transformed, deepens ignorance, pulling them further away from reality. This process resembles a whirlpool, drawing individuals deeper into suffering. The Buddha not only identified these causes of suffering but also provided practical ways to overcome them. Mindfulness is the first step in recognizing the presence of desire, aversion, and ignorance in the mind. When a craving arises, instead of being swept away, one can observe and ask, will this truly bring lasting happiness? Similarly, when anger surfaces, take a deep breath and ask, does this anger benefit me or others in any way? Ultimately, understanding impermanence helps us let go of unnecessary attachments. When we see that everything changes, we no longer feel bound by fleeting things. This freedom not only liberates the mind but also brings inner peace, enabling us to live a more meaningful life. Modern life and the traps of the mind. The modern world offers countless conveniences, but it also presents invisible psychological challenges. One of the greatest traps is the never-ending cycle of comparison. Social media platforms are filled with images of success, beauty, and seemingly perfect happiness. This creates enormous pressure on individuals, making them feel that they are not good enough, not attractive enough, or not successful enough. Whether consciously or unconsciously, this comparison fuels desire and dissatisfaction within the soul. In addition, modern life draws people into the whirlpool of materialism. Advertisements constantly ignite the desire to buy, creating the illusion that owning more will make us happier. Yet in reality, the joy these possessions bring is fleeting, while the feeling of emptiness lingers. We forget that happiness does not come from owning things but from how we live and perceive our lives. Another trap is the unending busyness. Modern society often glorifies those who are always busy, yet this busyness distances us from ourselves. We lose the ability to listen to our inner voice, to be present, and to enjoy the small things in life. Busyness becomes a veil, obscuring our view of life's true meaning. How to overcome these mental traps? To overcome these mental traps, the first step is to become aware of them. Understand that social media is merely a curated and edited depiction, not reality. Pause, reflect on your own life, and identify what truly brings you joy. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on sustainable self-improvement. Practicing mindfulness is a powerful tool to escape the whirlpool of busyness and materialism. Mindfulness helps us live in the present moment, recognizing our emotions and thoughts without being controlled by them. Only when we stop chasing after things beyond our reach can we begin to feel a sense of fulfillment from within. Additionally, consider adopting a simpler lifestyle. Remove unnecessary clutter, both materially and mentally, to focus on your core values. Spend time with family, friends, and engage in meaningful activities. Modern life may be complex, but happiness often stems from the simplest things. Letting go, a vital way of living. In the teachings of the Buddha, letting go is an art of living. It is not about abandoning everything but learning to live lightly without clinging to what we cannot control. Letting go is not a sign of failure, rather, it is a powerful act that reflects maturity of the soul. When we let go, we are not shirking responsibilities but instead ceasing to hold on to things that do not truly matter. A classic example of letting go is learning to ease the mind from endless desires. In modern life, we often get caught up in the whirlwind of expectations of perfection, recognition from others, or material success. These expectations are like shadows. The more we try to grasp them, the more dissatisfied we feel. But by letting go, we free ourselves from being bound by these shadows and can instead focus on the true values of life. Letting go is also a way to embrace the impermanence of life. Everything around us, relationships, possessions, and even emotions, is constantly changing. Rather than resisting change, we can learn to live in harmony with it. For instance, when one door closes, instead of lamenting, look for other opportunities that may be waiting. Change is not an end but a part of life's natural flow. How to practice letting go. 1. Identify what truly matters. Take time to reflect and determine what genuinely adds meaning to your life. This clarity will help you recognize unnecessary things and be willing to let them go. 2. Practice gratitude. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. This simple exercise helps shift your mind toward positivity and gradually lets go of unnecessary desires. 3. Focus on the present moment. Instead of worrying about the future or regretting the past, concentrate on the present. Being fully present in the moment is the first step toward letting go of invisible burdens. 4. Meditation. Meditation not only relaxes the mind but is also a powerful tool to observe unnecessary thoughts and emotions, allowing you to release them gently. Letting go not only liberates the mind but also helps us discover profound inner peace. When we let go, we lose nothing but gain so much more: lightness, freedom, and the ability to appreciate the simple joys in life. Embracing imperfection, the art of living. Embracing imperfection is not just a necessary action but a profound art of living. It requires courage to acknowledge that what is imperfect also holds its own unique value, and it is precisely this imperfection that defines the beauty and distinctiveness of life. Imperfection is an inseparable part of everything and everyone. Look at nature. A yellowing leaf in autumn, though no longer green and vibrant, still exudes an elegant beauty with its intricate veins. A raw gemstone, though unpolished, possesses immense inherent value. Humans are no different. Every scar, every failure tells a story, creating a unique identity for each individual. When we accept imperfection, we learn to live in harmony with ourselves and others. This doesn't mean giving up the effort to improve but understanding that every journey, including mistakes, has its value. Imagine a world where everything is perfect. Life would lose its richness and diversity. It is the flaws that make every experience worth cherishing. Living with imperfection also eases pressure. When you are no longer obsessed with achieving everything perfectly, you will feel lighter. You can focus on the process rather than the outcome, enjoying each moment without worrying about others' judgments. How to embrace imperfection. 1. Forgive yourself. Everyone makes mistakes, and that's entirely normal. Forgiving yourself allows you to move forward instead of being trapped in guilt. 2. Practice compassion. Look at others with tolerance, understanding that they, too, are struggling with their own challenges. 3. Find beauty in imperfection. Learn to appreciate small things, like an old bowl with a crack or an asymmetrical painting full of emotion. 4. Embrace change. Change is an inevitable part of life. View every change as an opportunity to learn and grow. Embracing imperfection not only brings peace but also helps us build deeper relationships. When you accept yourself, you are more likely to accept and love others. This acceptance becomes the foundation for a meaningful and fulfilling life. A personal story. I once went through a period of feeling utterly drained by the pressures of work. I constantly believed that I needed to achieve more and gain recognition from those around me. Those thoughts became a burden, trapping me in dissatisfaction and anxiety. Then, one day, during a meditation session, I realized that happiness is not a destination but the journey we experience along the way. I began to focus on living fully in each moment instead of chasing after others' expectations. I accepted that I couldn't please everyone and that my imperfections were natural. Since then, I've felt lighter, my mind more at ease, and most importantly, I've found joy in the small things every day. The power of acceptance. Acceptance does not mean surrender, rather, it is a profound strength that helps us face every challenge in life. When you learn to accept, you begin to see that everything has its own value. Acceptance is not about resignation or helplessness but a way of living that requires deep courage and wisdom. Resist or accept, two choices in life. When confronted with difficulties, people often choose to resist, searching for solutions to change their circumstances. However, not all situations can be changed. In such moments, acceptance becomes a wise choice. Acceptance does not mean giving up hope, it is about freeing your mind from unrealistic expectations. Imagine walking in a heavy rainstorm. You can look for an umbrella to shield yourself, but if none is available, fighting against the rain will only exhaust you further. By accepting the rain as a natural part of life and feeling the cool droplets on your skin, you'll find a sense of lightness. In that moment of acceptance, you'll also realize that rain brings its own beauty to life. The impact of acceptance on life. When we learn to accept, life's challenges become more manageable. Acceptance not only frees the mind from unnecessary stress but also helps us uncover the hidden value in everything. 1. In relationships, an imperfect relationship does not mean it lacks value. When we accept that others have their flaws, we find it easier to forgive and build stronger connections. 2. In work, a less than perfect workday doesn't render it useless. Mistakes made today often lay the groundwork for improvement tomorrow. 3. In personal life, embracing your own limitations allows you to feel more confident in what you have, rather than focusing on what you cannot do. How to cultivate acceptance. 1. Practice compassion. View your shortcomings and those of others with compassion. This not only helps you forgive but also strengthens relationships around you. 2. Focus on positivity. When you accept, look for the positive aspects of every situation. Each challenge carries valuable lessons. 3. Remind yourself of impermanence. One of the most effective ways to embrace acceptance is by reminding yourself that everything in life is temporary, from joy to sorrow. Acceptance brings a kind of spiritual strength that helps us not only face difficulties but also appreciate the simple beauties of life. When you learn to accept, you'll see that everything, even imperfections, carries its own value and meaning. This compassion for yourself and others will liberate you from unnecessary pressures, allowing you to live a peaceful and fulfilling life. The Noble Eightfold Path, the Buddha's answer to life. The Noble Eightfold Path, or the Eightfold Way, is the cornerstone of the Buddha's teachings and is regarded as a roadmap for liberating oneself from suffering and attaining enlightenment. Each component of the path is not an isolated principle but intricately linked and mutually supportive. It is a guide leading individuals from suffering to peace and ultimate wisdom. 1. Right view, seeing clearly. Right view involves understanding the true nature of life. The Buddha taught that the world is impermanent and deeply interconnected through dependent origination. Recognizing impermanence and causation allows us to let go of superficial attachments and focus on genuine values. For instance, if we only focus on the material success of others while ignoring our inner worth, we become trapped in the pain of comparison. Right view helps us escape this cycle through clarity and honesty. 2. Right intention, positive thinking. Right intention goes beyond thinking correctly, it encompasses nurturing positive and compassionate thoughts. Thinking about helping others brings tranquility to our minds. Conversely, thoughts of hatred or greed lead only to unrest. For example, when facing challenges, rather than blaming external circumstances, we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This positive mindset opens up new opportunities. 3. Right speech, speaking truthfully. Language is how we connect and build relationships. Right speech encourages us to use words that are truthful, respectful, and beneficial to the listener. Honest and kind speech fosters trust, soothes conflicts, and brings peace. When we speak with malice or deceit, it creates unease not only for others but also within ourselves. In contrast, compassionate and reliable words lay the foundation for a harmonious life. 4. Right action, ethical conduct. Actions are reflections of our thoughts. Right action advises us to act ethically, avoiding harm to others and ourselves. Ethical actions contribute to building a better and more just society. 5. Right livelihood, honest work. The work we do is not just a source of income but also shapes who we are. Right livelihood advises us to choose professions that align with ethical principles, avoiding harm to society or the environment. When we engage in ethical work, we not only take pride in ourselves but also bring value to others. 6. Right effort, purposeful endeavors. Effort alone is not enough, it must be directed toward meaningful pursuits. Right effort involves channeling our energy into actions that bring genuine benefits. Without direction, effort can be wasted. Purposeful effort, however, helps us achieve our goals effectively. 7. Right mindfulness, living fully in the present. Right mindfulness is about being fully present in the current moment. Dwelling on the past or worrying about the future robs us of the valuable present. Mindfulness allows us to perceive and appreciate what is happening here and now. 8. Right concentration, ultimate focus. Right concentration is the ability to focus intensely, bringing calmness and clarity to the mind. When the mind is not distracted by fleeting thoughts, we can perceive the true essence of life. The Noble Eightfold Path is not just a roadmap but an art of living that leads us to peace and enlightenment. Practicing the path allows us to not only free ourselves from suffering but also contribute to building a better world. Each element of the path is tightly interconnected, forming a comprehensive system that helps individuals overcome challenges and achieve inner peace. Walking the path is a journey of self-discovery, harmonizing with everything around us, and uncovering the profound meaning of life. It is the gift of wisdom that the Buddha left for humanity, a guiding light to transcend the darkness of suffering. Conclusion: the journey to happiness. The journey to happiness is not a distant destination but a long voyage filled with lessons and precious moments. Along this path, the Noble Eightfold Path serves as a guiding light, helping us navigate through the darkness of suffering and misconceptions. Each element of the path is not merely a principle but a way of life that enables us to face the world with mindfulness and peace. By accepting that life is impermanent and full of change, we learn to adapt and let go of unnecessary burdens. In this act of letting go and acceptance, we discover the simple beauty of life, like the morning sunlight, the song of birds, or a kind and loving word. Every moment experienced in a calm and serene state of mind brings happiness. We wish you a meaningful and joyful journey in your search for happiness. As you let go of worries and begin to live in harmony with the principles of the Noble Eightfold Path, you will realize that happiness often comes from the simplest things. Start practicing the values of the Noble Eightfold Path today. Begin with small actions, like practicing mindfulness for a few minutes each day or doing the right thing to bring joy to yourself and others. Share this journey with your family, friends, and those around you by spreading messages of positivity and compassion. Together, we can inspire a life filled with peace and fulfillment.